Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Dan Blanchard with the Travel in Time with Dan show. I'm here in Midtown Manhattan, New York at this amazing place, Grand Central Station. This is amazing. Let me give you a little history here. Going back early 1870s, they got Cornelius Vanderbilt. He builds and opens up what's called the Grand Central Depot right here, and believe it or not, it was the largest depot in the world, but it couldn't keep up with demand of the passenger trains, and eventually he's gonna knock it down. It's a beautiful building. Him and his kids, and eventually maybe even grandkids, get involved in building in 1900 Grand Central Station, and then eventually in 1913 Grand Central Terminal. So let's go back here in 1913 and talk about that. That's when the Grand Central Terminal is coming in. And this place is going to be huge. All right, this is during the Gilded Age. A lot of people call the Vanderbilts, well, robber barons or captains of industry. Which ones were they? Well, let's think about this for a minute. All right, outside, you had 48 acres of real yard. All right, they had a problem. They had to do something with that. So what does the Vanderbilt captain of industry do? Well, he electrifies the trains, puts them underground, and that 48 acres becomes available to build on. And think about the air rights. Think about how much money all these people made. All right, now that's your captain of industry. So why were they called robber barons? Well, sometimes the Vanderbilts and others like them were ruthless, right? Especially to the workers. That's why they were called robber barons. So anyways, in 2013, my bad, 1913, thank you, you got the Grand Central Terminal. Now, it's not station, that's what everybody calls it, Grand Central Station, but it's Grand Central Terminal. And why? Well, a station is when trains are just kind of passing through. Trains are not passing through here, this is the end of the line. This is where the route terminates. So this is Grand Central Terminal, all right? And thanks to the Vanderbilts and a whole bunch of others who had their hand in it, this becomes the busiest, the biggest, and the most iconic train station in the world. It's the only one that's running 24/7. All right, it's huge, it's busy, serves over, let's say, like 1 million people, sometimes a day, right around 1 million people a day sometimes. All right. So what happens next here? Let's talk a little bit about history. Okay, in the 1940s, believe it or not, this was a Nazi, Germany, Hitler, Nazi target, because many of our soldiers were coming from all over the United States, and they were coming to here. This was their final stop before they went overseas to fight. All right, Hitler wanted to bomb this place. Thankfully, we blacked out the windows. We put blackout paint on these windows that you're seeing here, so we were not an easy bombing target. All right? Now, let me back up a little bit and tell you a little bit about what's going on in here. I mean, this place is for the gods. How do I know? If you go outside and look, you're going to see the Roman and Greek gods. All right? The god of commerce is here, right? There's several of them are here. If you come inside here and you look here, you're going to see this is 12 stories high. All right? There's a huge 25,000 foot ceiling up here of the Mediterranean view, night view in October. Now the funny thing is, it's backwards. It's reversed. It's one of New York's biggest mistakes, but they kept it. All right, so 12 stories high. All right, something that you can't probably see from here, but the ramps, they have an 8-degree ramp going down to the trains. And they did this in 1913. They made the ramps. This wasn't a 1990s ADA, American Disabilities Act thing. They made this in 1913. Nobody was using ramps back then. They were all using stairs. Well, here at Grand Central, they didn't want people tripping on the stairs, slowing down the stairs, accidents. They wanted something a child could walk on, and that was the ramps, 8-degree ramps. And if you look behind me, you got a 4-sided clock. Whenever someone says, meet me at Grand Central, they're talking about meeting at that clock. It's one of the most iconic meeting places in the United States. All right, so let's go back to history. What did I say? 1940s, Hitler wanted to bomb this. 1950s, this place is humming along. It's in its heyday. However, President Eisenhower is building the interstate highway system. We'll come back to that in a minute. 1960s, there was a huge screen up here where thousands and thousands of people watched John F. Kennedy's funeral. Yes, that is sad, right? 1970s, this place is starting to get dilapidated. It's falling apart. The jet engine is really hurting it. Eisenhower's interstate highway, the cars, really hurting it. They're about to close this place down and demolish it until Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis comes and saves this place and makes it a landmark. And that's why this place is still open today. All right? Now, let's jump to 2023. The Long Island Railroad is opened. For many of us, we have no idea what was even going on here. For 20 years, 150 feet down, they've been building this huge $11 billion addition, expansion downstairs, and they're going to bring in the Long Island Railroad is now open 150 feet below our feet. All right? So, let's see. Did you know this place used to have a 65-foot ski slope? Did you know that? But you didn't. What else? What we got? Oh, there's a really cool speakeasy bar in here. All right? And believe it or not, down this way, there is a thing that's called the Whispering Gallery, where it's a complete accident of engineering. But if you speak in one corner, it goes up, across the ceiling, back down in the other corner, and you can whisper to your friends from the different corners of the room. It's called the Whispering Gallery. Hey, I'm not going to tell you exactly where it is, but there's a tennis court in here. It's somewhere on the 4th floor. That's my clue, all right? And let's not forget, track 61 is hidden. This is where FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, didn't want people to know he was in a wheelchair. So he would pull into the train station and they would back up their train into a secret hidden location. And from there, they would go right up to the Waldorf Astoria Hotel where no one could see that Franklin Delano Roosevelt couldn't walk but was in a wheelchair. No one could see it. It's the hidden track. I forget if it's 61 or 16. I forget what it is, but that's what it is. All right? So what else do you need to know? Oh, here it is. There's a huge lost and found here where about 20 to 25 cell phones a day are recovered and put in the lost and found. So, what is the leadership lesson of Grand Central Terminal? Right, remember, everyone calls it Grand Central Station, but it's Grand Central Terminal. What is the leadership lesson here? Well, the leadership lesson here is think big, act bigger, and protect your vision. All right? Cornelius, with the Central Depot, the Grand Central Depot, biggest in the world, obviously was thinking big, but he acted bigger. And it got bigger with the Grand Central Station, the Grand Central Terminal, and now the Long Island Railroad has just opened up 150 feet below our feet. If that's not acting bigger, then what is? All right? And then, of course, just like Jackie Kennedy protected this vision of this place, getting it designated as a landmark so it wouldn't be shut down, we have to protect our vision and not let people shut down our vision. Right? That's leadership. All right? So now, I'm not sure where I'm going to be for my next video yet, but wherever it's going to be really cool. I really appreciate you spending time with me today at Grand Central Station or Terminal, where we get to mix travel with history and with leadership lessons, and of course, me, Dan Blanchard, on my Travel in Time with Dan show. I'll see you again very soon. Take care now.